And so that's where we begin this morning in Arizona, where the desperate search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie intensifies. It's now into its 5th day. Last night, Savannah and her 2 siblings released this emotional message on social media. You could see her here. It was posted to Instagram. They were speaking directly to their mother's possible abductor, pleading for her safe return. Listen.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them.
The light is missing from our lives. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom.
CBS News correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti has been covering this from Tucson from the very beginning. Jonathan, as you know, this was an incredibly emotional appeal. It was hard to hear Savannah and her siblings reaching out to their mom, calling her mommy, mama. What else did they say in that social media video? And why do you think it was released when it was?
Yeah, Vlad, to that point, the fact that this video even exists speaks to the level of desperation that this family is currently feeling as we now enter day 5 of this search with very little solid leads. The sheriff saying at this hour they do not have a suspect or a person of interest currently. And when you hear Savannah in that message, she not only speaks directly to her mother, she speaks directly to the abductor, referencing this ransom note. It has not been verified by the FBI, though clearly the family taking it very seriously as they plea for a proof of life. Take a listen.
We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us.
Those words are incredibly heartbreaking. I spoke to the sheriff about this ransom note back on Tuesday. He confirmed to me his office first received it on Monday night. They quickly handed it over to the FBI for analysis. We have not reviewed it. The sheriff, though, confirming some of the details within, including what Nancy Guthrie was allegedly wearing when she was abducted. So there is some level of detail, enough so that they're taking it seriously. We know that this note was initially emailed to a local news station. It is unclear if any media was attached, photos or videos, which may be part of the reason why you hear Savannah Guthrie talk about the possibility of it being manipulated. Right now, as this analysis continues, the FBI looking into the IP address of that email. There's also just a lot of question about what other lines of communication were opened up in that letter. It does not appear to be that there is a way for the family to reach out to the abductors at this hour, Vlad.
And Jonathan, I also want to ask you what's happening there behind you, because as we understand, investigators returned to Nancy Guthrie's home yesterday. So what's happening on the ground there today?
And we were here yesterday when that happened, and it was remarkable. You had the FBI and the Sheriff's Department arriving here on the scene. They taped off the area, and they brought in 2 canines. They spent several hours searching the home. I say it was remarkable because they initially cleared this scene back on Monday. It is unclear what they found. They were clearly tracking down one of more than 1,000 tips that they received. They have since cleared the scene. There is security here as this search continues. Again, we do not know what solid leads they are following. It's important to point out, too, we have no understanding of a possible motive behind this abduction.
Jonathan, before we let you go and we talk to Anna Schechter, I'm curious because you interviewed, you've had multiple moments where you've spoken to the chief of police. Now we know that the FBI is on the ground. You've reported that. Why is my understanding, and perhaps you can clarify, the FBI just recently arrived onto the scene. So why would that be the case? What would compel local law enforcement to bring in the FBI at this stage of the game?
You know, you had local FBI agents here initially. They were really supporting the more digital aspect of this and that forensic component. Then, of course, you had the ramping up yesterday that was announced that CBS News confirmed with additional teams coming in. I believe, and this is our understanding from the reporting, that some of this has to do with President Trump speaking to Savannah Guthrie. He went on late last night, social media, saying that he promised to provide any support needed. And now we see the FBI coming in. There's going to be a press conference held later on today where we expect their presence there. And we hope to get a better understanding of their exact role moving forward in this investigation, Vlad.
All right, Jonathan Vigliotti on the ground for us in Tucson. And I hope, Jonathan, by the time we speak again next, that we have some good news in this. Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
And Anna Schechter joins us now. She's the senior coordinating producer for CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit. So, Anna, so much to break down here. Let's start with that video. What does it say to you that that video was released? You know, we're hearing a lot of people online saying this indicates in some way perhaps that they don't have communication with a possible abductor.
I think that is accurate because normally the FBI would want the communication with the kidnappers to be done behind closed doors, quietly, without the public's knowledge. The fact that they went public with this plea, to me, means that they are doing everything they can to establish that back and forth communication. So we understand that the initial, if it's real, a ransom note came into the local TV station via email. The FBI was quickly past that. They would have crafted a response based on their expertise and emailed back, trying to get them to engage in a negotiation. Without any response, that's when you go public with a video. That would make sense to me that on the eve of day 4, you are going out with almost like a Hail Mary pass. They don't have anything to lose because there isn't this back channel private negotiation underway. So that's what this video tells me.
Yeah, and that is, I watched Andy McCabe, who's the former deputy director of the FBI on CNN last night, saying exactly that, Anna, that the fact that the family is posting this video, given that we know of a ransom note, means that the ransom note is not something that they may not think that that ransom note is maybe I won't say the word real, but that there's nothing there, because if there were something, they would already be speaking to the people who sent the ransom note. They would be trying to engage with whoever sent that ransom note.
But we also don't know the circumstances if the captors have internet availability, still have charging on their phone. Like, there's so many scenarios that are possible. There's so much we don't know. How did they cross state lines? Could they potentially have crossed into the southern border into Mexico? These are possibilities, and the FBI has to look at this wide range. Now, this ransom note is not the only lead that they are chasing down. They're using these automated license plate readers. Unfortunately, there aren't that many in this area, but they are running down those vehicles that appear in those images, plates. Hundreds and hundreds of tips have come in. So this is one thing that they're grasping onto and taking seriously enough to engage, but there are probably some other leads. They know more than we do at this point, but it is, to me, not a good sign that they're going public at this stage.
Okay, well, lots to follow here. Anna, thank you. We hope for some good news on this soon.